Welcome to another episode on the channel. In today's video, I'm going to retrofit an electric pump to the wiper washer. So let's get started. If you recall from part 1 or part 2 of the electric repair videos, one thing I couldn't get working was the washer sprayer. So in this video, I'm going to try to wire in an electric version. So the way the system is supposed to work, you pressurize the bottle off of the spare tire. This connects to the spare tire. And then in the wiper switch, you're supposed to pull the switch and then it opens a valve and then the sprays on the windshield. Well, I replaced the wiper switch and it's still not working. I don't know what the deal is and I don't feel like messing with it anymore. So we're going to try to put an electric pump in, and this should be pretty simple. I can reuse all of the tubing. I just need to pull it out from under the dash, and I've got a little pump on the workbench we can take a look at in a second. I've already loosely run the wire, like the power wire, into the dash, but it should be pretty simple. We can just cut this, mount the pump, run the other part of the hose up here into the side of the fresh air box and connect it up there. So what I have is just a universal washer pump from Amazon. I think it was like 15 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that. And I've got a push button momentary switch. This I'll mount into one of the blanks on the dash. And the way it should work, when I turn this on with 12 volts, the pump is off until I hit the button, and then it should come on. So let's see if it is still working that way. It's got 12 volts. Yeah, so that's how it should work. And it draws about 1.5 amps with nothing attached to it. So if it's pumping fluid, maybe it's pulling 2 amps. Shouldn't be that much of a draw. And the push button's rated for 5 amps. The only drawback to this pump is that the in and the out are on opposite sides of what would be ideal. Let's take this over to the car. Ideally, how I want to mount it is right there. You've got the terminals on the back side, and unfortunately, the outside is to the front. And I don't want to mount it upside down just because if it starts leaking internally for some reason, then all of the fluid will run into the motor, and then it could short it out. So I want to have the motor on the top side. So it's not a big deal. I'll just have to run the hose a little more loosely, and it'll run under it to the inside on the back, and then the out will just run out towards the front of the car and then up, and I'll attach it to the trunk release cable. First step here, I need to take this panel off again and then pull the hose out from under the dash. Okay, we're ready to start installing the electric pump, and make sure you check your hose. This one's in good shape. It's still soft. It's not dry rotted or anything, so there's no sense in replacing that. Let's see, so we'll mount the motor first, somewhere, like I said, somewhere over here. Cut the hose to length, and we've got a ground spot up here. That'll be easy. Just run a short ground over to here, and then we'll turn to the inside of the car. Quick intermission. I have the pump mounted and the wiring done in the frunk, and I wanted to check just to make sure everything was working. So I set the power supply up in the car, jumped the wires, and the pump's spinning, nothing's coming out of it. So let's take a look at the bottle and some reworks that I had to do. I wanted to reuse the bottle and keep everything looking as factory as possible, but the issue, so this is the original hose. It is very small inside diameter, and even worse, there was an additional step down on the connection here, and when I took the hose off, just holding it up with water in it, it was just a trickle coming out of it, so no wonder nothing came out. I was able to drill this out, so it's got a larger opening in it, and then I had some larger diameter hose, which fit tightly on this next step. All I had to do was drill out the cap a little bit larger so that I could get the hose through it, and it's now a tight seal, and we've got a lot of flow coming through it. So we'll put this back in the car and see if we get some spray out of the washer nozzle. Got my power supply hooked up, got all of the hoses and everything hooked up in here. So let's see if it'll spray a little bit of fluid. Okay, well, it does spray, but it's very powerful and sprays clear across the garage. Well, if you decide to use it and you're driving the car, make sure you're moving so the wind blows it down on the windshield. So it works. One thing to keep in mind when wiring it the way I'm going to wire it, it is no longer going to automatically activate the swipe function of the wipers. So from the factory, if you pull the lever and it sprays the washer fluid, the wipers automatically go for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 swipes. So it won't do that anymore. So you're going to have to actually do that. I know it's very difficult, but you'll actually have to turn the wipers on then. But I'm not getting into the wiring of the switch and everything. Yeah, I've seen other people do this, and they're wiring in relays and all sorts of things. I think that's completely unnecessary. This pump doesn't use much power. There's no reason you can't just run it through a momentary switch like I'm doing. And then some other people, they put this big reservoir under the spare tire with a big pump on it, and that all seems very unnecessary. You can do this very easily. It fits neatly. You're using the original bottle. Everything looks very tidy once I get everything zip tied and cable wrapped and everything where it's supposed to be. So this is, in my opinion, a much more elegant way to do it. So now we'll go ahead, we'll run the wires through the firewall again. I've already got a grommet in it, and I've already got a grommet in the side of the fresh air box, and that hose is where it belongs. One other thing I need to keep in mind with the bottle, I'm not sure exactly how this cap works. I'm assuming there's a check valve in there. So this is once you pressurize it, you get pressure through here, and then this is connected on top, so it's forcing air pressure down into the bottle. I'm not sure if this is a check valve, and then there's also a hole there, but I think I'll drill a hole. I'll run it a little bit with the factory cap the way it is, and if it's getting a vacuum lock on it, I'll just drill a hole down through the center of it. That way it can pull in fresh air. But for now, let's move to the inside of the car, run the wires and the momentary switch. Let's take a look at the button mounting location real quick. I removed this blank, the one next to the rear window defogger. It just pops out from the back side. With the radio out, and the glove box, I can kind of reach behind and get to it fairly easy. And the button will just barely fit. Let me set the camera down. So this is the smallest button I could find. And if we look here, it will just barely fit. And luckily the back side's a little bigger, so when I drill it out, it'll fit through this side, and it's long enough that the nut that holds it will still be able to hold it. So we'll go ahead and get that mounted up and get the wiring going. All right, I got everything finished up. Everything's tucked nicely into the dash, and I got the radio back in it. So for power, there's a fuse location that is listed as open, and somebody had added an aftermarket radio. I put in a different one on that circuit, so I just pulled power from that spare circuit over to my button. It is hot all the time, so if you push this, even with the key off, it'll still run, which isn't a big deal since it's a momentary on switch. So with that done, I guess we'll head back under the frunk and get everything tidied up under there. All right, got everything tidied up in here. It's all wrapped up, it's running through a grommet. It's tucked out of the way, everything down there's neatly tucked away. And I would recommend, if you use this kind of pump, that you put a little bit of shrink wrap on the terminal up here. Since they're right next to each other, if you bump it, it could bend that tab over and short it out. But the way I've got it now, it should be fine. And that I've got the pump up high enough that the trunk liner will fit in here without hitting it. So it should look pretty Pretty much factory, except for the little pump sitting there. Nobody will really notice it. So with that, this project is done, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with the other projects that are left on the Beetle. Still got the interior to do, got to finish the brakes once I figure out why I don't have any brake pressure, and move on to the exterior.